During the election campaign, I wrote to the Prime Minister demanding that Cobra be called to deal with the floods at that time. He very reluctantly agreed with that and eventually did call a meeting of Cobra. The situation now is even worse across the country than it was then. No Cobra has been called, or is he just pretending to care when he doesn't really care at all because there's no votes on the line at this moment?
Mr. Speaker, as he knows perfectly well, there have been a stream of ministerial meetings since the flooding began. The National Flood Response Centre was convened on February the 14th, and I have been directing things, as he perfectly knows. Cobra is a reference to Cabinet Office Briefing Room A. It is not the only room in which meetings can take place, Mr. Speaker.
The Welsh Government have done their best to step up to the crisis despite the underfunding from Westminster. The Prime Minister was keen to pose for cameras when there's a crisis on during the election, but he often goes AWOL. He was late to respond to the London riots because he was on holiday. He was on a private island when the Iranian general was assassinated. And last week, he was with his head in the sands in a mansion in Kent. The MP for Calder Valley, another of his colleagues, said it's not good enough. How can the country trust a Prime Minister, a part-time Prime Minister? Last night, schmoozing Tory party donors at a very expensive black tie ball, instead of getting out there and supporting the people who are suffering because of the floods. This government needs to step up to the plate and invest in defences and ensure there is real insurance for people whose homes are being ruined by these floods as we speak.